Hello and welcome to 7 Days. I'm Zack Yusof here to take a quick look back at some of the top local and international stories from the last 7 days. At the top of the show, China will allow all couples to have 2 children, abandoning its decades-long one-child policy, according to a communique issued on Thursday by the Communist Party of China. China introduced its family planning policy in the late 70s to rein in population growth by limiting most urban couples to just 1 child and most rural couples to 2. The number of couples opting for a second child has since grown steadily since a major policy change came about in 2013, when couples were permitted to have a second child if either parent is an only child. Since then, concerns at China's aging population, rising social costs, and falling worker numbers has led to pressure for further change. Tell you what, let's hope that China's new 2-child policy will see a lot more happy families running around the country. Staying in China, the Chinese Navy has warned that further forays by U.S. naval vessels into the waters claimed by China in the South China Sea may trigger eventualities. Chinese Navy spokesperson Liang Yang made the comments following an incident on Tuesday that saw a U.S. warship sailing within 12 nautical miles of one of Beijing's man-made islands in the contested Spratly Archipelago. The Chinese Navy monitored, tracked, and issued warnings to the USS Larsen, according to Liang, who said that China's reaction was necessary, legitimate, and professional. On Wednesday, China said that it resolved issues with dialogue and hoped that the United States will indeed meet them halfway. Top China and US naval commanders actually held video talks on Thursday, lasting over an hour in a bid to resolve the issue. Like the ad says, it's good to talk. Moving along, about 13.5 million people in Syria currently need humanitarian assistance and some sort of protection, an increase of more than 1 million in just 10 months, the United Nations humanitarian chief said on Tuesday. Stephen O'Brien, UN Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief Coordinator, told the Security Council that an increasing number of Syrians fleeing the war are willing to risk everything on board unseaworthy boats and dinghies to reach Europe. The UN's latest findings indicate that over 1.2 million people have been displaced inside Syria so far this year, many for the second or even third time. The Syrian civil war has claimed more than 250,000 lives since 2011 and has made the country the world's single largest source of refugees and displaced people. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry arrived in Vienna on Thursday for international talks on the Syrian conflict, in which arch-rivals Iran and Saudi Arabia will participate for the first time, with around a dozen participants expected. Russia and Iran both support Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, while the United States, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and other Gulf Arab nations insist he cannot play any long-term role in Syria's future. In a speech on Wednesday, Kerry made a case for wider U.S. engagement in the Middle East, despite growing American energy independence, saying that the conflicts in Syria, Iraq, and between Israel and the Palestinians can all threaten U.S. interests and inflame anti-U.S. sentiment both at home and abroad. He also suggested that the United States currently faces the best opportunity in years to end what he called the hell of the Syrian civil war. Over at the Vatican, results of studies and technical tests at the Sistine Chapel show that there is no need to carry out new restoration work and that carbon dioxide levels have been greatly reduced, making the famous venue safe and sound to receive an increased number of visitors during the upcoming Jubilee year. Now, dust brought in from the outside, body sweat, and carbon dioxide pose a major risk to Michelangelo's ceiling frescoes, which are more than 500 years old. Now, to protect the work of the Renaissance master, the Vatican installed a new climate control system last year to filter the air in the chapel, as well as a new high-tech lighting system programmed to cut damaging heat by more than half. Pope Francis announced in March this year that the Roman Catholic Church would mark an extraordinary Holy Year, one of its most important events, which will start on the 8th of December this year and end on the 20th of November 2016. This will be only the 29th holy year in the church since the tradition started more than 700 years ago. The last holy year saw millions of pilgrims heading to Rome to take part in religious festivities throughout the year. So talk about perfect timing. Finally, archaeologists said on Thursday that they have discovered a 6,000-year-old Mesolithic eco-home near Britain's iconic prehistoric Stonehenge. According to experts at the University of Buckinghamshire in the UK, the dwelling found in a hollow behind a fallen tree was used over a 19-year period from 4,336 BC. Evidence suggests that the dwellers were sophisticated hunter-gatherers with a larger understanding of the landscape than what has been normally attributed to our Mesolithic ancestors, represented a major step forward in the understanding of the history of Stonehenge. Tell you what, I do love new discoveries. Until next time, have a good week.